The first reading today shows us that wisdom is available to all of us. It tells us that wisdom meets those who seek her in their solicitude. Solicitude, according to my Merriam-Webster's, is the attitude of earnest concern or attention. Wisdom doesn't require a graduate degree. Wisdom meets us in our earnest concern and attention. Far too often my wife says to me, "I told you this already." And after 3 decades of marriage nearly, I still sometimes say, "Yeah, but was I listening?" And if truth were told, I could probably respond, "Yeah, but did I really want to hear the information you were about to give me?" If she did have my attention, and if I did want to hear the information, I might not even need to be reminded that I should clean up the patio before her women's group comes over this weekend. A wise husband is attentive to those things that are important to his spouse. One of the things that's always so hopeful to me about Scripture is how highly regarded the unqualified are. We hear over and over stories of favor for the poor, the weak, and the meek. If Jesus had to choose between a party with the pretty people and a party with the outcasts, there's no doubt the ugly and the dirty would have his company. And so it is with wisdom. Wisdom is not about being a brainiac. It meets us in our solicitude. The young women in the gospel were inexperienced. There was no way for them to really appreciate what the bridegroom's arrival would really mean for them. And some didn't even bother to contemplate the possibilities. They were probably too busy checking their Twitter feed when the instructions were given out. These were the unwise. They weren't earnest in their concern or attention. They paid the price. In this group, however, there were also equally inexperienced women who also didn't know when their efforts would produce a reward or what that reward would really look like. But these women listened, contemplated, prepared, and waited patiently. For these wise ones, when the opportunity presented itself, their wisdom was obvious. Wisdom is available to all of us if we value it and search for it. Otto von Bismarck, the leader credited with uniting Germany in the 19th century, said that we can do nothing on our own. All we can do is sit quietly, listening for the footsteps of God. And when we hear those footsteps, lunge out for the hem of God's cloak. In these strange and divided times, there seems less wisdom and more noise than ever. Over the last several years, I've often heard people ask, what can we do about this divisiveness? I don't think we're living in divisive times because we're short on smart people. And it certainly isn't because we don't have enough Twitter posts. I can't help but think that part of the reason for this divisiveness is that we're not giving each other our earnest concern or attention. Over this next week, I'd like to encourage you to practice solicitude. What a better world we'd make if we gave each other our earnest concern and attention. How much wiser would we be if we could give our neighbors our earnest concern and attention? This week, can you meet your neighbor with wisdom?